In Bitcoin, we're watching the monthly close. If we can potentially get a buy signal here on the predictor at the end of July, so keep an eye on that. The weekly pushing away from the MACD predictor, which is bullish, could be targeting at least a little bit of stops here at 9795, so let's watch that as well. And then you can see breaking through the agreement and revisiting it potentially as support today, and you can see the OP, the next one up at those stops, and more resistance at the top end of this consolidation. If the monthly can confirm up and we break through this higher zone, we should be looking for longer term moves up into the 11,600 area. So this will be an important week for Bitcoin. Let's keep an eye on it. At the moment, near term, as long as we remain above this resistance, could be bullish. Also keep an eye on your low time frame support levels to hold for potential buying opportunities and a continued move up. Last week we discussed the monthly close compared to the indicator as a very important level to watch, and also the weekly pushing away from the trend, which was near-term bullish. It managed to get those first set of stops we talked about, and it actually triggered the higher sets of stops as well, which we marked out and discussed that if that can happen, a move up into this higher zone was quite possible. That has now materialized, so nice to see Bitcoin doing what we expected. And now we'll have to watch this zone closely. A pullback from here, probably going to be a buying opportunity for a continued move up. Let's look at our monthly resistance back towards the previous highs at just about 14,000. You've got your monthly resistance, but you do have a double expansion up at that old high as well. So if we get above 12,100, let's say that zone, the market could continue back towards this high and a test of these higher resistance levels. A pullback from this current zone could be a buying opportunity. So let's watch our daily. There you can see the nice rally we had. That was actually the support zone we talked about around 94.70, and okay, so standing out as support would be this 353, 370. If we can get down there as a potential buying zone. As I said, we are testing this resistance area. You can see a couple of daily expansions up there as well, with the 12.089, our weekly level. So let's get that up on our chart as well. 12.089, that's our weekly XOP, and this is your next resistance zone. So obviously you've got this area that we're currently testing as the first resistance. It's a little bit overbought. Higher up you've got your higher weekly zone, and as I said, any pullback from this area probably going to be buying opportunities if the market can test down into support zones. The first support that I like would be around this 10,692. We actually already tested that early on this week, and then continued up, but it's still a valid support. And then below that you've got the 340, 350 area, which is also forming part of this ABC. So I can actually get that on my support chart as well. Let's do it. There you go. So that's an important support zone if the market can test down into that area. But for now, against resistance, if we break it, a continued move up into towards 13,400 is quite possible. But for now, this is an area you could potentially see a pullback, but this pullback will probably be a buying opportunity to emphasize Bitcoin still continuing to look bullish. In Bitcoin, the monthly trend still up. We discussed the weekly zone of resistance could cause a pullback. We did actually get that pullback this past week, so a nice one-day sell-off right into that support zone which we marked out, and this one actually, the confidence zone stretched up right to the top end of that first zone which marked out as well. So a zone forming and a nice area that giving us a good bounce back into resistance. That's as we said last week, a pullback probably going to be a buying opportunity. So it's bounced now. We've got the stop grabber buy, which could lead to a test of the highs once again. So let's calculate our ABC up you can see the COP up at the above the high. So that's if the market can remain above the MACD predictor, that's your potential target. If it breaks that, you do have the OP higher up with another XOP to the left. And then just a support. If we do slip into a sell without testing that resistance, the market's still showing support down here. But for now, if you bought it down here, you would at least try and take some profit, or at least protect it by looking at a sell signal to take your profit or trade or stop. But the first target likely up around this COP. So that's a nice little bounce on Bitcoin. This one really respecting the levels well. So let's see if it can move up to the COP, or if it turns around and goes into a sell, you'll be looking for a potential ABC move down into the COP or OP support.